So now let's start with Aura component. Okay. So using Aura component, yeah. So first of all, why we are using Aura component, or LWC component, and Visual Force page? Why everyone is not using Visual Force page? If you will compare the complexity now, so Visual Force page is too easy as compared to Aura and LWC. VA page is quite easy. You know why? Because it's a kind of one-to-one communication. One-to-one communication. One-to-one means there's the Apex class, Apex controller we can say, and we have VA page. That's a kind of HTML body. So HTML. Then why we are not preferring this thing? If it is quite easy and we can achieve each and everything using Apex class and VA pages. If everything can be achieved from here, then what's the need of Aura component and LWC? Okay, let's take an example for LWC. If we already have Aura, let's say, okay, this is the worst thing in the Salesforce. Let's take example. So then why we are avoiding the Aura? If Aura is came in a picture, then why LWC came? Okay. So in 2014, before that, like even till today, like many companies are working in the classic, like using Aura, like web pages and all, because they were having some issues, some mobile compatibility. They bring the lightning experience in the market because of some mobile mobile compatibility. Screen was not automatically adjustable, and it's a event driven architecture, more responsive. There are lots of other benefits for Aura component. Okay, so because Aura, they didn't think whenever they bring the lightning in Salesforce, even they never think about the like replace the VIP with Aura. They didn't think about this. Intentionally, unintentionally, like whenever they were working with the client side, so everything was handling using lightning experience. Then they thought, oh, why can't we replace this thing with Aura component? So we have Aura is around, I will say 60% is like JS side, it's a client side, I will say. Every time it will not request will not go to server, so it will save our time. Okay, and what about LWC? So it's a very interesting thing. So you might be know, like in Salesforce, we have few release plan. Release means we have some we have winter. One second. Winter, summer. Okay, we have a spring. Three season we have in Salesforce, right? If we have 3 season, so let's take example. Similarly, what does it mean? It means we are getting a new update in Salesforce, new features. Salesforce is updating to itself by new things. New things bring always in the new release. New updates will come, right? It means like this. Similarly, it means like you have mobile phone. In mobile phone, if there is some update, new release will come, new version will update, new version we can say, new version will update in your mobile also, right? So if you are saying, oh, my mobile has been updated now with the new version, means new application look and feel is different, app is different, and now previously you were doing the scroll left, scroll right, now scroll up, scroll down you are doing with the applications and all. It might be any other things also. Okay, new updates. Similarly, JavaScript is also has previously JavaScript was not updating itself. There was an old JavaScript we were using during the Aura component time. When Aura component came in the picture, so we were having the JavaScript, like we were using the JavaScript component, JavaScript client side. So that time Salesforce finally decided we are going to use this JavaScript only, because they didn't have any updated version. Update came that I'm not sure in 18 or 19. They have started, as we have a Salesforce update, so JavaScript also started their updates. So whatever the new things in the JavaScript, they also update their versioning. Okay, so but Aura component, they finally decided, they created a framework like this, like they are going to use that JavaScript only. Other JavaScript will never support in Aura component. That's why Aura component is not that much preferable way. If let's take example, and I can tell you LWC supports new JavaScript, new updated JavaScript. Let's say new JavaScript means, let's say there is a version 10 is going on. Currently, today is version 10. Okay. So now LWC will support version 10 only. Version 10 only it will support. It will not support old JavaScript which we write in the Aura component. Both JavaScript will be different. I will say it's a new JavaScript, it's a old JavaScript. Now let's take an example practically. Let's think. I am a JavaScript developer. I don't know about Salesforce. XYZ, I don't know anything in Salesforce. I'm totally zero in Salesforce. Okay, first time someone told me, oh Amarjit, actually there is some developers who was working in the LWC component, but because of some reason they are on a leave for the last like from last 1 week, and they are going to extend their leave by next week also. Okay, and there are some high priority tasks in the company, but I don't know anything in Salesforce. I'm totally zero. So I will tell to my manager, oh sir, but I don't know about LWC, I don't know about Aura. They said, oh Amarjit, we need to create a Aura component. You are a JavaScript. I'm a JavaScript developer. I know only JavaScript developer. I'm a core JavaScript developer. I don't know anything about Salesforce, but I know JavaScript. My master is in JavaScript. I will say, they will say, oh Amarjit, you know JavaScript. Can you please create a Aura component for that? If I will go to Aura component, first of all, I will think, oh, what to do, how to create a Aura component. Go to developer console, create a Aura component. There are lots of things. Definitely, I will not be able to understand. I'm a latest developer. I have 2 years of experience. I did never see this Aura component JavaScript in previously. Whatever they were using in 2014, I'm not aware about this because I'm having 2 years of experience. Okay, I know latest JavaScript. I don't know old JavaScript. So I definitely can go to LWC component and I easily can write a code without any conflict, right? So LWC always supports the latest JavaScript, but Aura component always supports the old JavaScript. That's why we say it's a ECMA script. It's a new JavaScript. Okay, new version. If tomorrow if there is will update, so my old JavaScript it is not going to be work. It's new JavaScript will work. Means definitely it will be work, but Salesforce will always recommend to use that one only. But whatever JavaScript you write in Aura component, you can never use in LWC. Whatever JavaScript you write in LWC, you can never use in Aura component. Both are different. 1 second. Okay, this is a very big difference, I will say, and this is a very big challenge, very big challenge, for the new developers. So any other developer also can work in Salesforce. They no need to learn the Salesforce for that. Okay, so this is the first benefit. Second benefit is it is totally like I will say, like basically we use in the VS Code, both we can write in the VS Code. But if let's say I'm not new in the Salesforce, I want to learn LWC component, and parallelly I want to learn the Aura component. Which one is more easier, and which should I use? Definitely LWC. You know why? Because in a component bundle, so we have very few things. Let's say this is my LWC component. Okay, in LWC component, I have one HTML file, I have one JavaScript file, I have one meta XML file. Meta XML file is not a part of code. Forget about this. Concentrate on these. These are the two main files. But like on the same time, let me go to Aura component also. So here we have component file. Same output we are going to get here. So same from here, same from here. So here I need to write a component. I need to write a controller. I need to write a JavaScript controller. We need to use a style. We need to use documentation. We need to use renderer. We need to use design. We need to use SVG. So you can say we have total 5 components in this bundle, right? In this bundle, total 5 components. But here we have one more file we can create for the CSS, different file. We have total 3. Here we have total 8. Definitely, where will you go? We have 2 JavaScript. And if you want to call the Apex class, if you want to call Apex if you want to call the Apex class, you will call in the component. If you want to call a method, you will call a method in helper. In helper, you need to call in controller. You either controller, you need to call in a component. It's a quite complex structure as compared to Aura. LWC. In LWC directly, you can go there and directly you can call the JavaScript only. In HTML, you don't need to call any Apex class. You will call only Apex class and its method in the JavaScript only. And in the JavaScript side, you can import that one, and accordingly you can play with that whatever you want to do. Like, don't think about the code complexity. Like, I don't know it's a complex for you or not, but I will say don't think about this. Just understand the logic. Like, we directly can play with the same file only, Apex class and method name. Okay, so this is the difference. So now hope you understand what's the difference between both and all. Okay, performance wise is also, I will say, more LWC more better than Aura. And definitely if you are a Aura developer or you are some other things you do Salesforce, if you are writing code in Aura and all, if someone has been overridden your code, let's say I'm working on the one component and some other person is also I was working there, and almost I have completed, but finally I didn't meet the like output. So my manager came and or my team leader came and they will think, oh, but you didn't complete the component yet, but I'm very close to the output. So they said, oh, let's override his code, yeah, what the bullshit he's doing. So let's remove everything and let's keep new code there. So they can replace my code. I have closed the developer console here and I will reopen this one and I will see, oh, my code is not there. I have spent my around 10 to 15 hours in this with this code, and now this is a zero progress because manager or team leader has overridden my code. That's the problem. But in VS Code, if something will happen like this, so they will say, oh, so please see the output and please replace your code back again. They will tell me. I have a backup here. I have backup, right? I definitely have a local system. I can do each and everything here. So these are, and I will recommend everyone to work with a VS Code. VS Code is quite mandatory to use in Salesforce. Without VS Code, there will be lots of trouble. If you are working with VS Code now, and you will say to any other technical manager or something like this, you no need to explain anything with your words. You will just simply say, I use VS Code for development. Only these things. You know, like there will be lots of positive point you will get. They will think, oh, these are very good developer here. They will be very much happy with you, with your work. I will say two things to work with the Salesforce. One is work with the console, or Chrome. Sorry, yeah. First is for Chrome, and second is with VS Code. If you want to log in with Salesforce, log in with Chrome. Second thing, log in with like Uttara is doing the development work. This is a very best platform. We have PMD extension and we have lots of other extension. So play with this one only. Okay, VS Code for development, and log in and see the output with like Chrome extension. Don't use any other extension. Okay, so that's the thing. Yeah, so now let's go to Aura component. As I mentioned, like what's the communication between that. So hopefully let me just tell you the flow. So this is my Apex class. How to call, what to call, okay, where to call. This is my Apex class. This is my Aura component. I can say CMP file. CMP file means HTML file component. Okay, this is my controller. JavaScript controller, JS controller. Okay, this is my JS helper. JS helper. Okay, so this is my CSS file. Let's take a example. These are only the important things. Leave out about others. So if you have created one method, or if you have created one class, first class name, inside class the method name. That class name you need to call in CMP file component. That method class method name you need to call in the helper. Inside the helper method. That helper method you will call in your controller method. That controller method you will call in your on the click on button. Whenever you will click on this button, directly we are just like I will say directly, we want to call if any of the button, if I will click that one, this method will be called. Directly you cannot call this one. Yeah, direct communication like this only. If I will see as part of the Visual Force page, what we do. So we have a class name, we write in the HTML. What's the method name? We write on the button click. Click on the button. When we press the button, like if we click on checkbox, press the button, main thing our Apex class method should be called. Right. So directly we cannot do in Aura component, but in Visual Force page and LWC, we can do that. Okay, so that's a difference. Aura is quite little complex. I'm not demotivating you guys. It's quite beneficial if you understood the process. It's quite understandable, and there are lots of companies using Aura component, not even LWC. I will say learn LWC Aura both. Okay, you should know. So Apex class directly we cannot call. Apex, to calling Apex class, you need to call this Apex class in the JavaScript helper to controller to on the click of button. But whatever the CSS and all you have, that you guys can call in the HTML side, like HTML class and all, you can do that. So these are main things. And I will say what's the server side, what's the client side. Client side is JavaScript things. Whatever the things you will face in the future, it's a JavaScript. Now you can understand, oh, it's a client side. And if it is Apex class, it means it's a client side. Sorry, server side. Yeah, so client side, server side, I hope you understood. Like client side means it's too light, JavaScript is too light. If I want to send the request, let's say, let's take example client side and server side. So if I have, this is my client side thing. If I have a Visual Force page here, I have a Visual Force page, and I have one method. I'm saying 2 plus 2. I'm just giving a one hardcode example. I'm saying 2 plus 2. I want to see the result. And I will call this class, this method in the Visual Force page, and this class also in a Visual Force page. When I will click on this button, request will go to server, and it will find out the things from the database. Oh, 2.2 plus 2 is 4. It will give the result 4. Like server might be in any other different places. Okay, but client is our browser only. It will return the response from our browser, but it will not return the response from the. It will go to server. It will find out the request, send the request. It might take some more time. But here in Aura, so it will just show that it will go to, it will not play with this one. If you want to do 2 plus 2, then definitely Apex class method is not going to work, because this calculation you also can perform in the JavaScript side. You don't need to include any Apex class things here. You can play with that, and you can show 2.2, 2 plus 2, 4. You know, like multiple requests will go there. If there is a request and you want to bring the result from here, it will go, the request will go there. This will send a request here. This will send a request here. It's a long process, right? So why can't we use JavaScript only for this 2 plus 2? I can say it's a calculator program. I write in a JavaScript and show the result here. So it will stop. It will save our like multiple request times and all, and it will not go to server side. Apex class is server. It will go to client side only and return the result immediately. It's quite light. Server is heavy. Okay. And so this is the LWC part, and it's a Aura part. So do we have any question, guys?
Can you give me any interview questions, like how we can ask? See here, suppose we have, if you see the screen, right, you have the LWC code, right? So you're importing some event, show toast event. Okay, you're using the decorators here, okay, and you're extending some element, like can you explain this, like why we use, and you're using the import field from,
sure,
and you're giving it the Salesforce schema or something. Why should I give that? You know, why can't just I give the import field name?
Yep, sure. So basically, when you create a Aura, let me just create new LWC component. Okay, so this is automatically by default will see this result. So this is a HTML. This is my JS file. So
Yes.
there are few things, as I mentioned, as I mentioned, first of all, decorators. So decorators is quite important here. So what is decorator? It is nothing. It's a kind of variable. It's a kind of access modifier things. Alternatively, if I'll say access modifier, as I mentioned, like if we have a REST API, we write global. Like if you want to access access the things out of your scope of the system, whatever you are playing with. It's a
Salesforce.
Yeah, not even Salesforce, any other, like we are playing with VS Code now. Okay, so we have public also. We have private also.
Protected.
Yeah, so no, protected, we are not going to use these three. Okay, so if we have private, I will say at the rate track. At the track variable. If I'm saying my name, okay, so I cannot access this my name from somewhere else. I want to send the data from one component to another component, one parent-child communication. I can never send. Okay, if other component, this component is saying, oh, I need your data. Whenever you pass data, I also need to take this data, whatever you will pass in your HTML. With this keyword, we cannot pass because specifically we are saying it's the scope of this one is inside of this component only. Inside of this component, it cannot be able to read this track. But if I want to make it public, if other component making saying let's say I'm saying public data, or I can say private data. Okay, if other component is saying, oh, I need your data, so whatever data you are going to pass, so that data I also need. Okay, so that time I will scope of this API will be through this VS Code, complete VS Code. I can call anything from anywhere. But track only this scope, this line is only the scope. Okay, so complete this line only, this component.
Okay.
So okay, so what is global means, as I mentioned, like we have global also. So that is wire, means out of this VS Code. Okay, so one more thing, calling Apex class, I will write some for a timing. So like whatever things I will add here, these things will be added automatically here. If something will not be added here, so definitely it is going to be a problem for you. See, API is not there. Oh, sorry, API is there. Yeah. So like if something is not written here and you have written here, so that this is going to be a greater problem for you. I written like this. It is a red now. Okay, let's say I'm not using a track now. Okay, so this is also going to be create a problem for you. Okay, so this is a thing. So make sure whatever the things you are going to write, so everything should be written there on the top. Okay, then you can play with them. Okay, so these are the things. So now let's go to other things. As you mentioned, what's the purpose of import and what's the import purpose? If some you written, as I mentioned, if you have a kind of Apex class and I want to call one-to-one communication Apex class to HTML component, HTML of JavaScript component directly, you no need to call multiple things, multiple places. You directly will call as a import. It is a variable name, anything from Salesforce. This is a standard syntax. Say you are getting the data from Salesforce. Which data? Apex class data, and what's the Apex class name and what's the method name is a complete destination. So it's a kind of endpoint URL, as you mentioned in third party. It's not endpoint URL, I will say, but it's a kind of that location it is telling us, go there and find out the things. Okay, before that you need to authorize this one with Salesforce. As you know, integration also we do like this. As I mentioned, we have a first authorization process.
Yes.
And we
Yes.
authorize, and after that we go to proper location endpoint URL and we play with them. So similarly, we have the same thing.
Okay. So you're saying import show toast event from Lightning platform. Is that the component?
No, this is not a component. This is a standard. It's a toast message. If I want to show some toast message on the UI, so this is a standard syntax for that. This is not any component, no nothing. Standard
The show
events.
toast event is a what is a show toast event? Like you put in the braces.
This one.
Yeah, this one. Yeah.
1 second. So this one is going to be a kind of variable which thinks you are going. It's a kind of object. like it's a new object we are going to create. So whatever the things we will get the result from there, we are importing the result. So whatever the result we are getting here, so that we are storing in this object. And in this object we are using this one in the toast. Whenever my report will be inserted in database, so I will show this message, account created successfully,
Okay.
on the UI.
So, so if you scroll it up, right, this show toast event, import show toast event, right? You're getting the data from this lightning slash platform show toast event. Where is this lightning slash platform show
No,
toast event exist?
this is on server side only. Like this is, we no need to define, it's a predefined syntax in Salesforce.
Okay.
It's a predefined.
Okay.
It is not like this, I have created any component or in Apex class. This I did never created. So there are loads of things where you no need to create anything. Automatically you can import from standard things only. I'm saying this one, lightning platform toast event. Okay. So if you
So,
will go. Mhm.
yeah, can you explain the program what you have on the screen, Fun? Because you have so many methods, right? So I'm just trying to understand. See, if you scroll a little down, right? So you have an hand name change event. You have so many events, right? So all these are methods.
Yes, all these are methods. Basically, we have few events. Let's say if I'm changing some value, and whenever I will change the value, things will reflect here automatically. So whenever things will reflect automatically, so on the same time, this method I'm calling on the UI. Let's say I'm changing something. I'm writing on the input field. I'm writing Amarjit. In the record, in the name field, I'm writing Amarjit. Let me go to HTML side. So this is my own change. Whenever I will change means I will input like this. Like if I'm changing like this is a change, right? I'm changing. So if I will
Mhm.
changing, so my name will be called whatever the like field name record level we have name. So that field will change automatically, and that data will reflect here. If data will reflect here, so similarly we have one second. Yeah, if data will automatically change there, then we have this ACC record, whatever the name, last name, phone number, XYZ we have. So then it will insert the in the database, because we are calling the Apex class. So in the Apex class, after calling that, so we are just inserting data and showing the toast message.
So
So
you're writing the
we are,
event method, event in the JavaScript. This is completely JavaScript.
JavaScript.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So we have to learn that window.console.log. All these are
No, it
like
is
we
not.
have to learn all these things.
Yeah, you see, it is nothing. It is just a kind of a debug logs actually, which we have created. Let me just show you what the purpose of this and all. So let's
Yeah.
say, so 1 second. So let me just remove these things, few things.
And also, can you tell us like how do we start learning this? Any materials or anything like any questions or any practice sessions so that we can come back to.
I will give you Udemy access. So let's say
I just want to know like we are very new to LWC, right? Each small things also, is there the explanation like what is the this will do? I know that this is local to that event method, right?
Mhm.
So something like explanation in that this lower level, like
1 second. So in JavaScript, if you want to debug the code, you have two things. One is if you wanna debug the things, so you can console it, or else you can put an alert. Like I'll show alert also, and I'll do the same thing with the console log also. So whatever thing suitable to you, so that you can do that. So these things I have, let me just create one lighting field. Lightning inputs field. Okay, a second. Lightning input. Why can't I use lightning input issue field? Okay, so if I want to call this component somewhere else in the Apex class side, so for that I need to define the things in this meta XML file where we are going to deploy. This is the important thing. It's a small component which we have created. Just intention is to show what's the use of console.log and all. Okay, so now might be it is not authorized.
So I have one more question. What is the reactive variables? Means like what do you mean by that?
It's a track.
Okay, it is a track. Okay.
Let's say I want to see this one on the page of edit page. What's our component name? It's new component JavaScript. Did we do the page build? Home page. Oh, we didn't deploy it yet. No, we authorized only. Oh, we didn't deploy them. It's a new component came. Okay, so there are two things. One is, as I mentioned, to console this one, inspect this one, click on right click. Okay, so just inspect this one, go to console. Okay, just click on this one. If you'll write something here now, if you'll write something here. So we have two things. As I mentioned, we have one alert. Alert is going to make you trouble because every time you will write something, and every time this pop-up will come on the top alert. Okay, if you will remove the alert, if you want to see the result on console log, it's up to you. You want to see that one or this one. So I just given you the way. So it's up to you. But let me deploy this one console. So you can see this console is coming, right? This dot new word is a console, is a part of console. Amajit by default I have written, that's why it is coming by default Amajit. Okay, so you can see I'm writing something here in the bottom, it is displaying. So here I can see if I have multiple variable, if I'm not getting the proper result, I can see no, my component is not working fine. Okay, so these are part of console. Okay, that's why we do use console and all, like for the debugging things and all. System.debug. You don't need to learn about window.debug console.log. Just learn few basic things first. Okay. Anything else?
So nothing, Amajit. So just need your help to start learning LWC so that we can have one more session. If you have any questions, So just need your help in guiding us to learn this LWC.
Okay. No worries. But I will
Is there any
say,
project, like, is there any mini project so that we can go and tell anybody in the interviews, like, we have done this? So is there any mini project available anywhere?
yes, I will say currently I can give my project only. Okay. So in second, let me just post the. I'll do one thing. I'll just give you the mini project things on UI. Okay, what are the UI and all, so that you can learn and you can start the work.
Mhm.
Okay, that would be better, I think.
Okay,
I'll give you one URL so everyone can look into that and they can start the work.
sure.
Yeah. I hope this session is might be, I don't know if it's a helpful or not.
Oh, it
So
was very helpful, Amajit. Thank you
yeah.
so much. Actually, it's very informative. Actually,
Yes, because why I'm saying all these things, because these kind of things are very real and quick, because I cannot make you trouble you guys, because these kind of things are very important thing.
yes.
So
And also, I have one question in the integration. So they asked me in one of the interview, have you used certificates?
yeah, that's also very important things. So we have certificate things in Salesforce, so which is certificate and key management. So this is a SSL, which is a self-signed certification. This is also a very problematic thing for me also, because uploading, currently I'm working on this thing, but Salesforce, I think two year before, they were giving self-certified self-certification things enable in Salesforce. Now this is not enabled. We need to go to authentication, some authority certified certificate authority. We need to pay the amount, and then after that we can uh, bring the things. So by default, I don't think so. It's a free of cost now in Salesforce. Okay. So certificate, you can say, yeah, I have done so far. So generating the third party given me the certification. I use that up, I uploaded in SSL. You can say the certification and management key. I uploaded the certification and from here. And after uploaded the certification, so we have generated use this certification FX class, and then we made an integration. So we are using connected app now. So this is another way to do the authentication process. This is also a same, you can replace connected app with this certification thing. That's a same scenario, business scenario is same. Like that authorization process. Okay, so
Okay.
class is
Yeah.
going to be end. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, guys, then I hope it's understandable. So thank you so much for your time. Thanks
Yeah.
for joining.
Thank you so much for sharing so much information. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you so much, Emily.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.